You take yourself, right, as a consumer, right? And as a consumer, you have so much choice when you're booking a hotel, right? You can go to the brand.com, you can go to online travel agencies, right? Booking.com, Expedia, there's like so much choice that you have out there. But the most important thing when it comes to being able to, choose the product, the hotel that you want to stay in, it's about payments, right? That's the most important key aspect of any e-commerce transaction. So if you look at all hotel booking websites, they are booking engines. They're not an e-commerce platform. And the difference is e-commerce is about closing the transaction with a payment, right? Now, how many times does it happen where you actually put your credit card details on the website, and what is the first thing that you get asked when you're checking in, right? It's your credit card. And why? Why can't that just be seamless, right? Even when you're checking out, and let's say they've done an authorization for a smaller amount when you're checking in, and you had drinks in the bar, you had a massage, and again, when you're checking out, that same process of having to produce your card and go through that again, right? So it's a really broken process, especially when you're traveling around the world, staying in different hotels, even of the same brand, right? And you're still going through that same process. So for us, the question always was, why can't the world be like Uber, right, of hotels, right? When is the last time you even looked at your phone? When is the last time you even touched your wallet when you got in and out of a taxi, right? Why can't the world of hotels be like that? So the biggest challenge is, look, hospitality is truly a cross-border industry, right? What I mean by that is, the bulk, it's international tourists, right? Pre-COVID, we had over 1 billion tourists traveling around the world, right? And the areas where we saw the big challenges is, like, I'll give you a real example. The Chinese, for example, right? When they're booking any hotels in China, they're using Alipay, WeChat Pay. It's like their wallet that they use to pay. The minute they step out of the country and they travel to other parts of the world, like Mexico, or they go to Bali, right? You don't have the ability to pay with your payment method, right? And there's so many local payment methods that you have with different countries. And what ILPay is doing is differently, is where we act as a global merchant of record, okay? The real challenge is who's the merchant of record, because based on where the hotel is, that's the choice of payments that you get from your local banks and the local acquirers you work with, right? And you're losing the ability where the customer is coming from another country, right? So what ILPay does is it actually acts local to where the customer comes from, offers you the choice, offers you the currency to pay in, right? How many times have you used your card from the UK when you're traveling abroad, and your bank here is charging you an exorbitant FX, and you don't have any control over it, right? So what we do is allow the consumers to pay in the local currency at a very, very competitive FX, and allow the hotels to basically save money, right, on interchange by actually processing those transactions domestically. Payments is, fintech payments is still relatively very new in this space, right? So, there's very, very few hotel chains where you'll have like a payments team, right? So now let's take a step back, right? Where are the touch points when you think about payments? So the first touch point is the hotel website, right? It's a brand.com, like we say. Now, you can have the e-commerce team in the hotels looking after that. There can be the digital marketing team looking after that. But all they're doing is looking after the brand.com, right? Now, the second touch point when it comes to payments is all the distribution channels that hotels have, right? So Booking.com, Expedia, Agoda, Trip, all the distribution, so many of these partners in the show, they're all making bookings and sending a digital payment through the channels, right? So we plug into the platforms there, but then that's a distribution conversation, that's a revenue conversation, because it's a different team that looks after that. And then last but not the least is on-prem, when you are physically checking in, right, and checking out, and the transactions that you do at the hotel, in the destination. And that's the operations team, that's the reservations team, that's the front desk team. So the real challenge is there's not one, right, team of people or responsible individuals where you can just have this conversation, right? You're hitting different audiences, but at the end of the day, payments is core to any business, and payments is seriously core to hotels as well, right? So for us, the interesting thing is, because we're not addressing just one touch point, it's a very interesting conversation where we can truly provide a global solution, right, to a chain where they have hotels all around the world, and actually being able to address the problems and the challenges at every touch point, right? That's what's unique about ILPay. So it's simple. Traditional hotel payment providers, right, number one, they are trying to reach a mass market. They've not built their businesses and the companies and the platforms for hotels. right? So if you're an e-commerce company, they'll come and sell it to you. If you're a grocery, you're a Tesco and a Sainsbury, I'll go and sell a payment solution to them. I can go sell it to airlines. So the platform is very generic because payments is a generic transaction, right? But every industry has its own nuances, right? Every industry has its own unique problems. So a lot of the payment companies were not designed, right, ideally for hotel chains. So again, with IOL Pay, it is 100% ground up for hospitality. It is 100% built for hotel chains, right? We do not offer IOL Pay to anyone else, even though we have a lot of other businesses knocking doors and saying, hey, we would love to have the solution. Our business, our platform, our product is geared 100% for hotel chains. And that's again what makes it extremely unique in our value add offerings as well. And cost is obviously key, right? What is unique about us is, as I said, because we act local to where the customer comes from, right? We are providing a very competitive FX compared to what the banks basically would normally charge. And because we've set up a global network of companies around the world, and that helps us basically process transactions domestically while moving money around to help pay the hotels where they are, right? So by default, by cutting away an international transaction, right, and making it completely domestic, we provide significant savings. Now, for me, this is not just about a cost conversation, it's about an automation conversation. And that's very important because you can't imagine how much manual work goes into processing every payment by hotels, right, depending on the different touch points that I mentioned earlier. So we are a tech platform. We are not a payments processor. We're not an acquirer. We're not a bank, right? We are a technology company, a technology platform, which provides the automation, but then takes on the responsibility of doing the payments processing default as well.